We need to make sure these are about twice as wide as the root ball is.
It's our version of a celebration of Arbor Day.
We've opened it up for student volunteers to help us plant some trees. It'll be a good way for them to leave their mark on the campus.
I didn't want a big school with skyscrapers for buildings, and I wanted to be in an area that would allow me to connect with nature and be outside and provide opportunities for me to do more than just sit in a classroom and study.
People overlook a lot of the importance of trees, and it's good to have a reminder every now and then. So this is one of those events that I hope will remind people of the importance of trees.
So I've already taken the basket off the lower portion of the tree here, just so when it gets into its final spot in the hole, we don't have to try to wrestle it around to get that basket off.
I think it's really important to know how to do this kind of stuff. You know, you could spend all day studying trees in a classroom, but it's important to know how to plant a tree every once in a while.
So I'm just checking the depth here just to make sure we're going to be at the same height. We don't want to get the tree in the hole and find out it's going to be planted too low.
It's important to know how to, plant a tree so the roots don't get girdled, the stem doesn't get girdled, it doesn't die.
I'll use this just as a gauge here. It looks like we're about the same as the surrounding ground.
I've planted thousands of trees, literally, in my lifetime.
Give it a spin here, it should go right in. There we go.
And I don't think that I ever feel more a sense of accomplishment than after I've planted a tree here still today. To come back years later and see a tree after it's grown and matured to some degree it gives you a real sense of satisfaction.
So the next step, we've got it in the hole just the way we want. We can remove this burlap.
I mean, it's hard, but it's fun. The whole reason I went into forestry in the first place was so I can work outside, work up some sweat. Just never really wanted to work behind a desk. It's builds character.
This was an area on campus that had lost most of the trees the last few years due to storms or drought, weather catastrophes.
We're just trying to increase the amount of trees we have on campus. These are fringe trees from Asia, I think Tokyo.
And we're doing it as kind of a screen. It's not attractive to see these parking areas. And it's going to take, once again, several years before they really do what we hope for them to do. But I think even initially you'll see the impact it'll make on this little stretch of drive here.
I think it's important for everyone to come out here and do this, just because I think a lot of this kind of work is lost on students these days. We spend so much time in class, we spend so much time at home. It's important to get outside every once in a while and remember what it's all about.
It's great having the volunteers. It's nice to have other people interested in this and see some ownership with professors and students on campus having their hands in it too.
I'm just glad that SIU involves students in this kind of work, and I'd like to hear more about this kind of work going on campus.
Hopefully people that come and join us here today will be able to experience some of that satisfaction.
All right, here we go.
And maybe when they come back to campus in the future, they will drive by or walk by the tree that they helped plant and say, I planted that tree, and it's a really cool thing to have an experience in, have a hand in.
I'm from the big city, and I was raised in Italy, so I was raised around, grapevines and gardens and like natural foods, and you went out to your garden and you got spices for what you were going to cook for dinner. So I was raised around nature, and then I moved to a big city. So coming down here was kind of going back to my roots a little bit.
Obviously a tree doesn't sprout up overnight. Trees that we plant here today will probably start to look like a mature tree, even though they won't be mature in 10 to 15 years. So it's a long-term thing. It takes long-term planning to establish a tree and to get it to a mature size to where it is really beneficial.
The trees are an important attraction to this campus. You know, lots of students, their parents, when they come visit this campus, one thing they remember a lot of times is the number of trees here, the natural beauty of the campus. So it is quite a selling point to people visiting from outside the area. Having the trees and the grounds being maintained nicely, it's quite an attraction to this campus.